Shabbat Shalom. Well, aren't you guys the diehards that braved the dust storm to come to Shabbat services? I'm not saying anything about you guys who are doing the stream, but just saying. These guys, it was like the wilderness out there. I saw the photos of the dust and the wind. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. All right, you guys, it's... I know what our closing song today will be. I'm going to swap it out. This is the third week in the Hebrew month of Iyar. And tonight we are going to be counting the Omer, since we are still in the Omer. Today was Lag BaOmer, so hopefully you got to go to some kind of picnic or do something that was fun, or get caught in a dust storm, whichever. It's very, it's arbitrary. We are also so thrilled to welcome two new friends to our community tonight. There you are, Nick and Vaughn, welcome. We're so glad you're here, visiting from Columbus, Ohio. And just all of you who are here to worship and celebrate and to be a part of the warmth and the joy of this community on this holy Shabbat. Let's take a moment to take a deep breath and really breathe in the peace and the love of this holy and spiritual time. We come now to Shabbat, a time of joy, of rest, and of peace, and we begin this Shabbat with the singing of Hine Ma Tov, how wonderful it is to be amongst our friends at this time. It is my pleasure to invite to the bima to sanctify our Shabbat candles, Layla Al-Grabli. We continue in our Sidurim in our prayer book on page 2.
Asher kichanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahad likner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
We continue on page 20 and 21 with the singing of Lecha Dodi. When we get to the final stanza of Lecha Dodi, we're going to rise as one congregation as we ceremonially welcome the Sabbath bride entering our midst. And so we continue on page 20, Lecha Dodi.
Shabbat, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, elai, elai, shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, v'shmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'letihila, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, elai, elai, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mikor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nisucha, suf ma'aseh v'machshavat tchila, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, elai, elai, boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha ובצהלה, תוכם ולהי, עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai, lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabelai. Please be seated. We continue on the next page, page 22, 2 lines down. Adonai,
continue now with our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 28. Please rise. Please be seated. It is my pleasure now, on the eve of his bar mitzvah, to invite up Zain Al-Grabli to lead us in Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, v'tuvnav mishavnecha itim, umacheliv et hazemanim, umasader et hakohukmim, b'michshmorotehem baruchim atidra, borei yom v'layla, Golel or Modnei Husha, Vilhushech Mipin or, Uma Avir Yom Umeli Lila, Uma Adir Bain Yom Umve Lila, Adonai Tzivaot Shemo, El Chai Yivim, Tamid Yilom Chaleinu Vaed, Baruch Atah Adonai Hama Ariv Aravim. Everlasting love you offer to your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for you are life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We continue now with the Shema on page 34. Please rise. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha Vehayu hadvarim ha'elem asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu litotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. On page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. And so we do so now on page 40 with Mi Chamocha.
This is a Mi Chamocha that we're inviting you. The choir will begin, and each invitation is an echo for you to sing the same exact melody over and over.
Continue with our prayer for Hashkivenu on page 43. We are going to continue now with our prayer reminding us that it's Shabbat. The weather maybe didn't want us to have Shabbat, but we want to have Shabbat anyways. So we are going to turn to page 44 for Vishamru.
We come now to our congregational tefillah, which can be found in our Sidurim in our prayer book, starting on page 46. Will the congregation please rise?
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך באמת ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. נאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. Ata kadosh v'shimcha hakadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on the top of page 55. Let's read responsively. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. We continue with a moment of silent meditation. We come now to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of the Torah, which can be found beginning on page 249. Will the congregation please rise?
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
Please be seated. Our Torah portion for this Shabbat is Emor, and it follows on the heels of the command given to the Israelites in last week's portion to be sanctified and holy. The Torah portion begins by discussing the various laws directed specifically to the Kohanim, the high priests, and the Kohen Gadol, the highest priest, whose divine service requires them to maintain a higher standard of purity. Included is the command for the Kohen to refrain from becoming ritually impure through contact with a dead body, except, of course, for a close relative, and increased restrictions on whom the Kohen can marry. A Kohen with any one of a series of physical blemishes is forbidden to perform the service in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle, until he is cured. You can follow along with the Torah portion that I'm going to be reading in those large maroon books, the Chumashim, found underneath the seat in front of you, or if you're in the front row, it's under your seat, beginning on page 727. 727, I will be reading from chapter 21, starting with verse 4. Ya'amod Asher ben Yehuda v'sal aliyah haTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael lemor. B'chodesh hashvi'i be'echad lachodesh yihiyeh lachem Shabbaton zichron trua mikra kodesh kol malacha avodah lo ta'asu v'hikravtem ishe la'adonai. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor ach ba'asur lachodesh hashvi'i hazeh yom hakippurim hi mikra kodesh yihiyeh lachem Ve'initem et nafshotechem vehikravtem ishe la'adonai. V'chol melacha lo ta'asu be'etzem hayom hazeh ki yom kippurim hu lechaper alechem lifnei Adonai Elohechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. At this time in our worship service, our thoughts turn to those in our community and family who are ill and in need of healing. Just so you know, I worked on the Google Doc this week. I'm Google Doc deficient, so I still need training wheels. I didn't put Misha Berach in the Google Doc?
No, it's there, just in a different place.
Well, there, it's like close enough.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to read my mind.
Oh, well, I can't always do that.
That's okay, that's good. I gave you the cue, though, so we're
Yeah,
okay now.
there you go. So we're going to reframe that.
There you go.
We think about those in our communities now who are in need of healing, whether that's healing of mind or body or spirit. And on this Shabbat, we think of Jeffrey Cooper, Alan Wolski, Jerry Reinhart, Alex Quintero, Zora Schutzman, Christine Dumas, Anthony Dumas, John Eulenberg, Barry Fidlow, Renaud Verdier, Andrew Bider, Len Schutzman, Frida Unangst, Marie Shirky, Michael Notaris, Jenica Francis, Micha Gavriel, Ben Mordechai, Shimon Yael, Elmer Suarez, and all who suffer whom we know not by name. Mi Yishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh kol Cholei Yisrael v'Yishlach lahem bimheira refuah shlema refuata nefesh u'refuata guf v'nomar Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all who are stricken. May the Holy One of Praise mercifully restore them to health and to vigor. May God grant them health of body, health of spirit, and of mind, and let us say,
Amen.
Amen. We continue now with Misha Berach on page 253.
At this time, we count the Omer, and the counting of the Omer can be found in our Sidurim starting on page 278. In the middle of the page, we continue together with the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, vitzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom yom Shloshim va'arba, shehem shavuot arba shavuot v'sheshamim le'omer. Today is the 34th day, which is 4 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. I have to do math in my head, but we got it. Okay, and we say together, Amen. The B'nai Mitzvah process starts about a year in advance. And even though students don't begin to meet with their B'nai Mitzvah tutors to start studying for their Bar Bat Mitzvah until about 9 months before their Bar Mitzvah, families begin to realize that this process is really happening when kids become eligible to sign in a year before their special date. So tonight we have a special opportunity to publicly begin one person's B'nai Mitzvah journey and to watch a veteran share his knowledge. So, it is my pleasure to invite Annabelle Davis to the Bima and Zain El Grabli back to the Bima to share in this special moment. Annabelle, Zane and I stand here together to give you this JPS commentary book to use over the next year so you can learn more about your Torah portion for your bat mitzvah. You both share the same Torah portion, Emor. And after the service, Zane will show you where you can sign in so that you can get every service credit that you can get toward your bat mitzvah next year. Now, next year, Annabelle and I are going to stand here the night before her bat mitzvah, and we're going to present the JPS commentary to the next person, and hopefully, Zane, no pressure, but here it is. Here's my big sales pitch. You're going to come back and read Torah to celebrate your 1-year anniversary of your Torah portion, and the two of you can pass the JPS commentary to the next person. So, in that way, we link Torah and tradition. So, Zane, go ahead, and there you go. And now, I'm going to invite anybody else in the congregation who also might have had this Torah portion 69 years ago, Mark Turner. Now, you might not know, but it is actually customary to have a bar mitzvah as your 70-year anniversary of your bar mitzvah. So I shared this with Mark earlier, and he said, but Rabbi, that would mean I'd have to chant Hebrew. And I said, do I have a Torah tutor for you? And that's how we link together Torah and community, and we share in this wonderful night. So, but Kunahara, 69 years, not too shabby. So, is there anyone else who might have had Emor as their commentary, as their Torah portion? No? Okay, that's all right. 3 is pretty, not too shabby. So, in that spirit, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise as I convey upon them the threefold priestly benediction. Yiverechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God be kind and gracious unto you. May God's countenance be lifted up unto you and grant all of you the most precious gift of peace. And we say together, Amen. Ya'amod Gabriel ben Clara, Hagba, Ta'amod Clara bat Yehuda Vissol, Golelet. We remain standing for Hagba.
V'zot ha'Torah asher sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to invite up Chris Lunardini to read our prayer for the country, followed by Amir Al-Grabli to read our prayer for Israel.
Eloheinu ve'Elohai Avotenu ve'imotenu, our God and God of those who walked before us, be now our source of truth and light. Remind us that we are not alone in the pursuit of justice as we care for this country that we call home. May we come to hear America singing in all our varied tapestry and sounds and voices, as together we strive to nurture the compassion and wisdom to cultivate and comfort this land of life and liberty. As others have before us, may we unite to create a shore where those who are tempest-tossed can find again refuge, a land where all may be treated with fairness and dignity, a place where we are brave enough to see and be the light we need. And may our dream, our legacy, be the land that, though it never has been yet must be, the land where every person can be free.
Our God and our God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing for the state of Israel and for all of Israel's inhabitants. Source of life, bless and strengthen those who defend the land and ensure them a safe and speedy return home. Protect and guide them. Holy and blessed one, show Israel's leaders your path so they may act with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and that they may be unwavering in the pursuit of peace. Strengthen in their hearts, but keep them from hardening. Freer of the captives, return all those who are kidnapped safe and sound to their homes, without the spilling of more innocent blood, without any more souls being tarnished by horrific acts. Master of compassion, help us hold the humanity and the heartache of the Jewish people, while also holding the humanity and dignity of the Palestinian people. As we are made in your image, remind us of your ways. Spread over us your shelter of peace and fulfill the vision of your prophets. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning books. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. There shall never again no war.
Our service continues on page 254 as we rise to return the Torah to the Ark.
It's Chaim hi lamochazikim ba v'tomecha meushar teracheha dorchinuam v'chol netivateha shalom hashivinu Adonai elecha v'noshuva chodesh chodesh yameinu chodesh yameinu keketet.
Please be seated.
I want to invite you for a moment to do an imagination exercise with me. So close your eyes or keep them open, whichever you prefer. But I want you to think about what it would look like if I said to you, picture yourself at the most diverse gathering of people you can imagine. Just picture that for a moment. When you have an image, open your eyes. Well, this is a rhetorical question, but what did you imagine? Was it a gathering filled with people of all different races and ethnicities? Maybe you thought of an interfaith gathering where people are representing all different types of religions. Perhaps you thought about a group of people who were different in age and socioeconomic background. But what I really wonder, though, is how many of you included a diversity of political beliefs in your imagined gathering? Diversity comes in many forms, and embracing it is important, especially in today's highly polarized society, which that can be so hard to do. And it's near impossible to imagine willingly putting yourself in a room with people who hold vastly different opinions on American society from yourself. And that's exactly what I did last week. I attended the One America Movement's annual summit. Many of you have heard me talk about my work with the One America Movement on previous occasions. And for those of you who have not, I'll give you the elevator pitch. The One America Movement is a nonprofit organization that works in faith-based institutions to combat toxic polarization. In practice, what this actually means is that the movement works with Jewish communities, mostly Reform and conservative, Muslim communities and Christian communities, predominantly mainline Presbyterian and LDS groups, along with other non-congregational based institutions to set positive norms for collaboration within and between divided communities. The summit brings together leaders from many different communities, and over the course of 3 days, we have moments of learning about the most recent research in the fields related to toxic polarization in order to help us understand why we are divided and what new tools are being developed to help overcome that divide. However, the most important byproduct of this gathering is that we are able to create both sacred time and space in which to begin building relationships and having hard conversations. On the final morning of our gathering, I joined a breakfast table where to my left was another Reform rabbi, and to my right was a Muslim man whose family is from and still predominantly lives in Gaza, although he was born and raised in Kuwait, as he told me. And across from me were a father and daughter duo, actually from Chicago as well, who were launching an app that's aptly named The Sandbox to help strangers come together to have hard conversations. For those of you who know me well, you know I am not a morning person. They know very well. So an 8 a.m. pre-caffeine conversation is not my idea of the best setting for a hard conversation. And yet that's where I found myself. Despite my lack of caffeine, the Muslim gentleman, the other rabbi, and I were able to begin an intense and challenging conversation about Israel and Gaza. As our conversation began to end, and as a way of cutting the tension at the table, I commented to the Sandbox founders, "I hope you enjoyed watching the Sandbox live and in action." We were, in large part, able to do this because this summit had created space and time in which to open ourselves up to these interactions. It is not lost on me that this week's Torah portion, Emor, has this entire conversation about sanctity and time and space as it pertains to our most important holidays. In chapter 23, we read, "Adonai spoke to Moses saying, 'Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, these are my fixed times, the fixed times of Adonai which you shall proclaim as sacred occasions.' And just a few verses later, we read, 'These are the set times of Adonai, the sacred occasions, which you shall celebrate each at its appointed time.' We as Jews are called upon by God to take these specific times and sanctify them. God delivers the instructions, but it is on Amcha, the people of Israel, to actually put these instructions into practice and thus actually sanctify time. The sacredness of our holidays does not occur solely because God identifies a specific set of dates to Moses and the Jewish people and says, these will be holy dates. That, like any relationship, is only half of it. The other half of it, arguably the more important half, is that the Israelites follow through and actually sanctify that time. Abraham Joshua Heschel, a rabbi and philosopher of the 20th century, discusses this idea of sanctity and time and space in his book, The Sabbath. There, while addressing Shabbat specifically, he presents ideas about how we can and should sanctify time in addition to spaces. When we read his words, we come to understand that Heschel is not just talking about the sanctity of Shabbat, but of all holy time, whether that is time decreed by God or time that we personally have determined to be holy. Heschel reminds us that the seventh day is like a palace in time with a kingdom for all. It is not a date, but an atmosphere. This is what it means to sanctify time. We do more than the perfunctory requirements of observing a holiday. We push ourselves to be vulnerable and open our hearts and minds to new and different ways to approach creating holy time. We are intentional about the ways in which we bring our full selves to any space and time that we hope to be holy. When the founders of the One America movement came up with the idea of the summit, I'm honestly not sure whether they had read Heschel's The Sabbath or not. What I do know is that they took an approach of enabling us to create sanctity in both time and space. But in order for it to fully work, we each had to be partners with the organization in our willingness to work to create that holy space and time. The work of sanctifying space and time is deeply personal. whether it is in the context of observing Jewish holidays or combating toxic polarization. We not only have to be confident in the knowledge that we have and in our identity, but we also have to simultaneously be open to the possibility of allowing ourselves to change and evolve. This work is never perfect and never easy, but the outcomes can be so incredibly rewarding. The conversation at the breakfast table did not end up wrapped up with a nice, pretty bow. And while I cannot speak for how either of the other participants felt as our exchange concluded, I was left feeling both unsettled and proud of the fact that we had been able to engage in a relatively calm and rational manner. A few days after the conference, one of the founders of the Sandbox emailed me and he said, "I also want to compliment you on the way you handled the discussion at breakfast. It was tense, remarkable, and a gift to witness." It was only because each of us had opened ourselves up to the possibility of finding holiness in both space and time that we were able to come together in conversation. We were able to model this for others in the hopes that they too would find their own ways to seek out and create this sacred time. The work of sanctifying space and time is not always easy and is often quite messy. But when we come together with the same purpose and the openness to allow for new possibilities of what holiness can look like, we can do hard things and work towards creating beautiful outcomes. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Pat Gibbs with some announcements on behalf of the board. Thank you to our ushers, David, Avi, and our security team. Thank you to the Congressional Choir, led by Marla, and collaborative pianist Marissa Kerbel for the beautiful music. Mazel Tov, Zain El Grabli, and your family on becoming Bar Mitzvah. Join us tomorrow morning at 10:30 to celebrate Zain being called to the Torah. Mazel Tov, Annabelle Davis, on receiving your Torah commentary. As a reminder, starting next week, the building will be closed on Thursdays, and the office staff, including the rabbis, will be working and answering emails and phones remotely. Join us June 6th for our first Friday Shabbat Kiddush Club and Shavuot cereal dinner and Kugel Showcase. We know there are great Kugel makers in the congregation, and we hope you sign up to add your Kugel creation to our showcase. For more information on upcoming events, check out our weekly happenings email. Please join us after services for a wonderful oneg sponsored by the El Grabli family in honor of Zain. Shabbat Shalom.
As we prepare to begin our concluding prayers, it is my pleasure to invite to the bima at this time Soraya El Grabli to open the ark as we rise for Aleinu, which can be found on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach laton hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol ha'onam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu letaken olam b'malchut shaddai v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Let's continue on the bottom of page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we've loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the stars, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. At this time in our service, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth and whose yortzeit we commemorate this Shabbat, as well as those who have been taken from us very close to this time. We remember with tremendous love Emma Shapiro, mother of Sherry Balin, Zlata Cohen, mother of Linda Soha, Florence Bucksbaum, mother of Eve Helfer, Frank Saliamanis, husband of Eleanor Saliamanis, Eudice Brown, mother of Amy Herschel, Charlotte Goldberg, mother of Alice Agris, Sarah Fram, mother of Harriet Fram, Ruth Eatman, aunt of Lauren Eatman, Marvin Krasno, brother of Eugene Krasno, Erwin Davis, uncle of Deb Bacall, Honora Benario, mother of Howard Benario, Edward Bell, father of Rich Bell, Mary Stack, mother of Lisa Stack and grandmother of Cameron Trable, Dora Freed, mother of Jack Freed, Cy Golden, brother of Fran Dvorkin, Richard Simon, stepfather of Lauren Mastrud, Janielle Friedland, wife of Gerald Friedland, mother of David Friedland. Stephen Wills, father of Matt Wills. Joanne Frank, mother of Judith Lerner. Floyd Bonk, father of Virginia Weiskopf. Claire Weiner, grandmother of Rabbi Jessica Weiner. Jo Ellen Ann Romano, sister of Michael Hoy. Jeffrey Paul Samuels, brother of Steve Samuels. We're also in the period of Shloshim, mourning the recent passing of Bruce Robin, husband of Rona Robin, father of Aaron Robin, and grandfather of Sam and Maddie Robin. Dr. Daniel Hirsch, husband of Cindy Drapek, father of David Hirsch and Esther Termizi. Gerald Simon, husband of Jan Simon, father of Mark Simon, grandfather of Mimi and Scott Simon. And Nat Shapiro, brother of Sherry Balin. If there's anyone who is on your mind or in your heart whose name you would care to share with me as my hand passes over the room, please feel free to share their name aloud. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we recite Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294. Will the congregation please rise? Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye chon uv'yomei chon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalal uv'izman kari v'imru ameh. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush v'chata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May all of you be brave and have the courage to engage in those difficult conversations as we go into our world and be lights and bring about peace. As we say together, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
At this time, it is my pleasure to invite the El Grably family to come back up to the bima to help. No, don't we have a closing song?
That's okay. We can. Either way is fine. We are okay, Rabbi.
Well, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have everybody be seated. You're on deck to come up. You can go ahead. I don't want to step on your final song, but just be ready.
Okay.
Okay, please. Choir, if you will.
To continue to get us to know this new Mi Chamocha melody, we're going to sing it now again, this call and response, but simply to I, nai, 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 a typical nonsense syllables for our nigun, so that you can get to know this melody and we can end the night singing together. And that's where we're at.
Grabbley family, Lou Nardini, used to be El Grabbley family, come on over. All of you guys are all welcome to come on up and join us for Kiddush and Motzi. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzav banu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'vratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. B'tei avon, everyone. Let's have some challah and go into the social hall for a nice cookie.